Way 7 years after my death, a young man starts using the phone number I used in life. When he signs into my Facebook account, he sees the things I've written on my timeline. He sees the unspoken love contained in those words and wants to help me find my beloved. He wants to help me fulfill the wish that I couldn't before my death. Way later, he manages to find the person I love, but I am about to fade from existence. Why? Because my lover has almost forgotten about me. 7 years ago, there had been an earthquake. Because I had been asleep, I hadn't escaped in time and unfortunately ended up one of the casualties. Way my soul had floated in mid-air, watching as my body was covered with a white sheet and wheeled into the morgue. Since then, I'd been wandering around the place where I died for 7 years. I'd always been curious why I hadn't been reincarnated yet. However, the 3rd year after my death, I'd met an older woman who was also a wandering soul like me. Way she had told me, when the person you care about the most in this world no longer remembers you, you will disappear. After that, she had slowly faded away before my eyes and then finally vanished. I couldn't leave this place, so the only thing I could do was wander every inch of this area alone. I stared at the broken walls that were covered with moss. Way no one came here anymore. Still, I couldn't figure out the answer. Who was it? Who was the person I cared about the most? How evil I'd already turned into a ghost. So why were they still not letting me move on? When the 2,652nd day rolled around, I was crouching on the ground watching the ants carry their food home as usual. Way, in the next moment, I felt a huge gravitational pull. Then I was transported to a different location out of my control. By the time I came to, I was already standing in a large, brightly lit home. There was a man leaning back against his couch. He had a tablet in one hand and a phone in the other, but I couldn't tell what he was up to. Way, curiosity drove me to approach him. He had a considerably handsome face, except he was frowning slightly right now. His phone beeped. A text message containing a security code from Meta had just come in. The man was trying to log into Facebook. I watched as he typed his name into the personal details section. Wait, Elliot Jameson. What a gentle and elegant name, huh? After Elliot finished filling up his details, he suddenly realized that a window had popped up on the sign-up page. The message read, "You already have a Facebook account? Would you like to sign in curious?" I sat down beside him to look. He tapped on Sing and Ricout. Way soon after, he received a verification code on his phone, which he used to successfully log into a Facebook account called Nordman Fears. I was stunned. All of a sudden, I realized that it was my account that I was looking at. Stop. I floated off the couch. I bared my teeth to scare him, but I ended up stuttering instead. Way the frug, that's my Aquad account. Why, you can't look. However, he couldn't hear me. He proceeded to access the account on his own accord. The feed was practically dead. Notifications and alerts had piled up because I hadn't logged in a long time. But aside from that, the friends list was also empty. Way he skimmed through my account and muttered, "Boring." He was going to deactivate my account. I tried to stop him, but I was helpless. I was already a ghost, so I couldn't do anything. The common trope seen in novels, for instance, ghosts appearing in mirrors, were all fake. Way, in fact, I didn't even have the ability to pick up a scrap of paper from the floor. I was furious, but I could only watch helplessly as he started the deactivation process. Seemingly having thought of something, he opened my Facebook timeline instead. Suddenly, his eyes widened and he let out a surprised exclaim, "Wet, this is growing distressed." I watched him open the diary entries I'd written on my Facebook. Way, this person was so rude. How could he peep into the diary of a dead girl? I reached out to cover his eyes with my hands, but my invisible body merely passed through him. It seemed to have zero effect on him whatsoever.